Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Charlotte Outdoors podcast. With me, first of all, this is your host, Toro the Magi, who I have with me right now. This is a guy here in Charlotte. He's been doing a lot of great things. This is your second time being notified as pretty much the best rapper in Charlotte, which is crazy, by the Charlotte Nerve.
Yeah. We're going 2 for 2 this year for sure. So yeah. Shout out Queen City Nerve for the Best in the Nest nomination. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for having me, Toro. It's Sirski.
No problem. By the way, this is Phaze Gawd, one of the best rappers out here in Charlotte. We're going to be talking about creativity, the journey throughout the community of Charlotte, and really like your whole life to this point. Like, we're talking about the art, the creativity, what made you Phaze Gawd, if I'm being honest. But yeah, let's get into that. Look, why did you choose to be Phaze Gawd?
I got you. Well, Phaze Gawd stems from I used to first and foremost I used to be a part of a multimedia music group called Phaze Gawd. I put that together with a couple of friends. We did a few things in and around the city of Charlotte. We did a bunch of shows, a bunch of songs. We released our one and only project, Phase 1, which is out now on Bandcamp. So if you want to see some history, go check that out. But it was just a group of friends that came together, put some music out, and from that that time period, I was going by like Tony P the King, which was kind of like really generic at the time. So I was like, I gotta like figure out something. So from Phazer Gang, I kind of started playing with the idea of Phase and God, and my whole thing is like, it's not like a super religious thing, but it's definitely, I've been going through like more phases of life and trying to understand a little bit more where I sit spiritually. So that's kind of just been something I've been toying with for a while. So just throwing all that together, and Phaze Gawd just kind of pops out there. And the whole name is Tony P the Phaze Gawd, so it's just a little spin on it,
So your full name is Tony P or Tony?
The whole rap name is Tony P the Phaze Gawd. Like, if you ever go to a show, I always introduce myself as Tony P the Phaze Gawd.
That miss is actually pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Appreciate that.
I like that. I like that little, like, it kind of goes back. If you really like, you gotta really really know Phaze Gawd to know like where he came from and all that stuff. So I like that. It's a callback for like the other fan from like the beginning and everything. And like just a question about like creating music and everything. Like, what really got you started and everything?
Well, my dad's a musician, so he plays a bunch of instruments. We've always had like a home studio somewhat in the house, so he was always doing his own recording. He was always performing live, so that all kind of stems from him. And it's just music kind of just runs through our blood like that. My great grandfather, his dad, actually cut a record back in like way back in the day. So it's just something that we do and always came naturally. It's one of those things where I've always been like a writer myself. So like when it came to like music, putting that together with like the songwriting abilities, I was just always trying to tell, when I was first coming up, really trying to tell a story and use those big words I would hear and stuff like that. But after a while, it really did become more about finding like the creative side and really finding that melody to where it's like expressing my full self, as opposed to just writing like a song that sounds cool on the radio.
No, I feel you on
Absolutely.
That. Like I like side note, like I went through my whole phases with like, what is my music? What do I want to make things for? Like I started out being like trying to be real lyrical. Actually, I was messing around at first, and I was like, no, I'm gonna be super lyrical. Like I wanted everybody to be like, listen to my music, and be like, yo, who is he next to Jay-Z? And I like kind of like coasted more into like more like I like to sing a little bit and changing, and like you kind of probably went through that same like,
absolutely,
what do I want to do with my like sound and everything? Like what is a deeper meaning? Because like you could do like the whole service level. No, I just want to pop, but it's like at the end of the day, you're gonna be doing this for the rest of your life. So like, why are you making the music in the first place?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's really important for like artists of all type, not just musicians, to like know that, because it's gonna be. I feel like you're gonna be in situations where you gotta ask yourself these questions at a deeper level and get the answer. And if you haven't ever meditated on that before, then you have to do it sooner or later. So we'll do it now. It's gonna help you out in life and your career and everything, right?
Absolutely.
I had another question. Like, you have a lot of songs. You started out making songs with Phazer Gang,
yes,
and what you've been in a lot of studios too, right?
I've been in a few. I've been in a couple in and around the area.
Usually, like when you make songs, like what is like the process for how that, maybe it's like a thought in your head, and then like, oh, I really want to make this song, go out to the studio, or is this really spontaneous? Like, what is like the process of like making those things come out and come into being?
Absolutely, it's really one of those things where it could be any of the above. I've had times where I'll just think cool things, like cool bars that I might be doing, like literally at work, at my job, just poof of imagination, and then a couple bars strike my head. I'm like, okay, I gotta write this down. I'll utilize it somewhere in some song, and then sometimes I'll go beat surfing, look for just different instrumentals or beats just to listen to. Start writing, going crazy on those, just to get something rock and roll. And then when it comes time to like actually making a song, creating the songs, I always want to make sure that I'm utilizing producers that I like want to work with, and I see myself having some type of longevity when it comes to like relationships. So that's why you only see like my projects are only really produced by like one producer per project, because it's just one of those things where it's like I always feel like you have to cultivate that relationship, and you can't do that by having a project with like 6-7 different producers that you just bought a beat from. So I always try to pride myself on just like reaching out to the producers that I work with, and then build that rapport, and whatever comes of it, whether it be monetary, whether it be like, hey, this for that, whatever it might be, there's always that relationship that is built and grown from there. So when I find that's usually when you get the song, right? That's usually when I really start putting this actual song together. Because I'm like, listen, I know this beat is dope. I know I can use it. It's one of those things where it's not just ripping off of YouTube. Be like, no, I have the actual song files to utilize and mix and master and do all the cool stuff. And from there, it's just I've been trying to. I'll go to a studio every once in a while. I haven't been in one lately because I've really been trying to practice more on like mixing and mastering myself. So I've been recording myself, learning how to mix and master myself in my own little space. And from there, it's just takes, trying to get that nice take, trying to get that, I don't want to say perfect take, but trying to get the take that I feel represents what I'm trying to get across to the song, however that might sound. And so once I get that take, tweak it, make it sound how I want it to sound, maybe play with some things, whatever it may be, play with some different sounds depending on what it calls for. And of course, from then on there, again, trying to learn to mix and master. I'm definitely trying to put my own hands, as much of my own hands into it as possible. So from there, mixing and mastering, and then boom, to everybody's ears. Yes, sir.
No, I feel you on that. Like one of the things that I learned as an artist, like, and this can kind of be, really, I think a lot of it's unique to the music industry, because as a rapper, like, everybody wants to be a producer. So there's so many, the YouTube, like everybody wants to be a rapper as well. There's so many beats on YouTube and everything, right? And like what happened was when I first started, and I talked to a few people about this recently, I first started making music and everything, like I was initially making my own beats and my own songs. I was mixing, mastering, making the beats and everything. People were like, bro, that mess is trash. Like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, dang, maybe I need to just stick to beats that I get off of YouTube and stuff. But what happens with that, it kind of, I feel like it stifles your ability to create, because for one, you don't own these beats.
That's right.
And like you're saying, if you want, also like it kind of hurts your career a little bit too, because if you're only on making songs and beats that like you don't own or anything, and not anybody in the community that you're actually in, somebody like in Nebraska making beats or something like that, and then you're in Charlotte, you're not connecting to the community or whatever. So it kind of made it so that like, for one, I'm not connected to the community. Two, I'm not able to put the exact vision that I have inside of my like soul out onto like the song that I want to create in here. So like I recently started making my own beats and my songs, and I'm like, oh, I doubted myself, and I'm like, oh, I can actually make something that actually is kind of good. So I kind of got back into it, and so I'm working on that again. But like if I would stick with it for like the last like 3 years, I could have been pretty nice with it and everything. But
absolutely. I
do definitely hear that. I like your way of doing things. Like,
it's being on not letting people get to your head like that. That's one of the things I learned kind of like coming up. It's like everybody, like literally everybody's gonna have an opinion on what you do, and I feel like that's just the nature of man, is that they have to have some type of feeling on it for them to be able to process it and be able to, make decisions on whatever that is going forward. So it's just the nature of things when you're dealing with people, and it for artists and creatives is definitely a lot more like personal, because these are our babies. These are the things that we're creating. So, like you said, you made a song, you mix and master, now all of a sudden somebody's like, this is trash, this sounds bad, why are you even doing this, bro? Like, it's like, why not do it? Who are you to say what's trash and what's not? And even if it is trash, I feel like a lot of people, I'm all for criticism. I'm all for people like, hey, knowing what somebody thinks of my song, just because I feel like that's important information. You know, there's always some room to grow as an artist, and I feel you never want to cut yourself off from any kind of criticism, as sensitive as one may be to having their art critique. I feel like if there's any ability to grow, grab that opportunity to grow. However, I think there's a difference between people who are critiquing you for the better and people that are just like, I think hater is a played out word, but people that just it's just negative. They just want to have a negative thought for whatever reason. They might not like what you're doing. They might not like that, whatever that is, whatever it may be. They feel the need to express a negative opinion because they have it, and they want somebody to hear it. I don't know if it's a matter of like just social media wanting to be heard and all that stuff, but you know, it's cool to have an opinion. I feel like it's, as artists and creators, is always keep in mind like everybody's gonna have an opinion. Never let that deter you from what you're trying to do and what you continue to do, because again, like you said, those 3 years, while those 3 years could have been used developing that sound and finding out, hey, if it, not saying it was trash, but like if it's not up to his par, what is that par that I might need to be reaching? What can I do to kind of better it, you know, instead of just being like, oh man, this is bad, stop.
Yeah,
just my opinion.
I definitely agree with that. And I was gonna say, like, one thing is like when people give them like negative opinions, I feel like a lot of times it does, for one, it represents what they think about like their own ability to make something, and they're gonna just project that on you. And at the moment, I wasn't ready for that, but I'm gonna say it now on the podcast to make sure, if you're an artist and someone's saying something negative about your art, for one, like you said, stop to make sure if it's a good criticism. And two, you gotta remember, people are always gonna be speaking to you like they're speaking to themselves in a certain way. So that's one of the things as an artist, because we're really so much of our heart and soul is put into our creation. Like I said, it's our babies that we're low-key putting out here as music, art pieces, any type of out here. So absolutely. Another question I had, and one of your biggest songs that I've heard a lot, it's called "Here We Go Again," right?
Biggest songs? I mean, it's one of my newer songs for sure. I feel like I don't know if it's the biggest song yet. I hope so. Make sure you run up some streams. But it's called "Go Again." Go Again. I think that's what you. Yeah, it's called "Go Again" with the exclamation point at the end. Yeah. With that, I actually have a music video out right now on YouTube. Shameless plug. Sorry.
No, you're fine, man. I was about to ask you, like, how did that come? It's really hype. I've seen you perform it a lot. Like, how did that come apart? Like, you making that and everything.
For sure. So that again, it goes back into gaining that relationship with producers and stuff like that. That's produced by my dog Monk Beats in Brazil. So shout out Monk Beats. He's the guy that produced my last project, Phaze Gawd. So that's completely produced by Monk Beats. So again, when you're tapped in and you just kind of continue that relationship, I'm always talking with Monk on a regular basis. Well, back then I was talking with Monk on a regular basis and just trying to see what he had going on. He had some other production that was floating around. I was like, hey man, listen to me, hear what you got, let's see what's going on. That beat was one of the ones I found, so I was like, yo, did something to it. And then I sent it to him because, you know, I always want to make sure, see what he thinks about it. He's like, yo, it's fire. We went ahead and release it. As far as putting it together, man, I was just talking about just doing my rap thing, man. Just really going crazy on that, because I really feel like I really want, like, people ain't really like rapping like that, you know. And like, I'm not talking about like the boom bap, like, you know, you know what, the or the lyrical, miracle, spiritual stuff either. But it's like rapping, you know what I'm saying? Like I like putting bars together and like really making it sound like
double entendres and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I like it like a fire way, you know. People can write and it sound cool on paper, but then they do it and it's just.
It's really the delivery. You had exactly. You were like rapid fire, like through, and I was like, dang, like you can rap. Like I also heard like you heard other song that's on is a while back, but you had a little beat and like you were spitting on that, like
energy, yes sir, energy featuring Lil B the bass guy, yes sir, ski.
So like I understand, like you know how to do either one.
I appreciate that.
That's cool.
Yes sir. I mean that's what it's all about, is just versatility as well. That's what I'm big on, is just trying to like. I should be able to do whatever I want on any kind of track and like make it sound good, whether it be, you know, a song with Lil B, whether it be a solo song, whether it be a song where I'm tempting to sing, or, you know, there's a what's I'm looking for. there's a way to maneuver every song. It's just, put your mind into it, figure out how it's gonna sound good, and just do it, experiment, see what comes of it. But again, it's all about not being, like you said, being stifled. It's all about having that open mind to try new stuff and hear how you sound on it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Try something else. But you always want to make sure that you try new sounds, and I do that. So yeah.
That's great.
Appreciate you.
You made that on. I was gonna ask you. I don't know. Like when you're recording songs, this is the off question. Like, do you like freestyle at all? Or you just you write everything.
All right, that freestyling is why music sucks now. So nobody wants to.
Everybody freestyles on this.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, no, and whether you're doing the punch-in method or whether you're going off the top, like, I mean, it's cool if you can really do it. I know some really dope freestyles. I know people that really can go off top and be fire and like really, really go crazy. But my thing is like, I mean, like, it's just when you put your mind to it with the pen, like, it's literally like that's what you're doing. Your mind is actually on paper. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you have to really think about it. Some people overthink it. Some people underthink it. I think that's where you find that beautiful midsection. Just finding the right way to find yourself on paper or cell phone. But having that and being able to see that on some type of physical media where you can read it, repeat it, really like make it to where you want to say it and you want to hear it said. Like you don't. I feel like you can't catch that. Freestyling or doing the punching method. See, it might be cool. It might save some time for some folks, but I really do feel like, and it's. I mean, again, it's not for everybody. It really is not for everybody. But I honestly feel like people that really take their time, write down what they're trying to say, or at least somewhat put thought into it, is always like a better product in the end of it.
Oh, yeah. I really like that you said that because that's a really hot take, low key. But like, I like that you said that because I learned, over the years making music about a few things, and like I also see like what the biggest rappers like what they really do, like they literally just be freestyling, like, and it's like a lot of like the mainstream stuff is kind of like a lot of it service level. Like not everybody's like a Lil Wayne who can like freestyle, like a Jay-Z who can just freestyle entire like songs and it sound complete fire. It's like not everybody's like that. I'm not saying people is trash, but it's like we as a people, we want the fast go. Freestyle is a method of fast go. But before, a lot of people are freestyling before they've gotten like the actual skill and like the life experience and actually like the meditation to go have that deep stuff maybe at top of mind.
Absolutely.
That stuff is mostly below all like that stuff at top of mind. So when they're freestyling, they're not getting the stuff that's deeply inside of them whenever they're talking and like spitting. They might be putting bars together and everything, but it's not like really that deep or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I get what you're saying. It's not like a song that's gonna move people. It might get them jumping in the club for a little bit, but it's not gonna move them like that. And that's just one of the things that happens when we come that way. But no, everybody has their own potential like way of like doing things in the studio. Whatever is good. It's good for you. I personally do like a little mixture of things, but like I do feel
you freestyle.
Writing. I freestyle, but like I recognize that like whenever if I try to freestyle a whole song, it would not come out the way that I would like it to come out. For one, because I like to fine tune my vocals whenever I'm like, I would like to, okay, I want to say this again, say it again, say it again, and it's like it's not like I might as well just write the whole. I write like a chorus out. Really, what I freestyle on is my choruses a little bit. And then like I get the words set in stone for what I want and the idea that I want, and I just like I said fine tune it until it's the right way.
Absolutely.
But like verses and stuff, like it's like mostly like I write those, and I like how that work comes out.
Absolutely. I think freestyling the hook makes way more sense than trying to freestyle the whole verse, because I feel like you can come up. I've seen people come up with fire hooks just off the top, and like it just be like it's a song right there. And then like people try to freestyle whatever verse it is, and they just lose it. It falls apart right then and there. So I definitely see it making sense to like freestyle a hook rather than a verse. But I mean, like it works. Like you said, it works for different people. There are people that can do both, and hey, more power to them. I don't. I like to write. I like to put it together, and again, like you said, fine tune it and like really make it sound as good as I can. But yeah, I feel it.
Interesting. I have a quick question. So like. What is like your most are all the things you've been in, like projects that you've been a part of? Like maybe it's not even your song. Maybe you've been like maybe it's not even a song. Maybe it's a show. Like what your creative projects that you've been a part of? What is like your favorite one?
My favorite one? I got a few. I think my most I think my most cherished project might be my project, Definitive Theosis, that was produced by Deflon, Dreams from Last Night. He was a prolific producer here in the city. Signed, I think it was Deep Black out in Germany. But he was starting to really do his thing. Unfortunately, he passed away around the time we made that project. So after we made that project and released it, he passed away. And it really was. I cherish that project a lot because first and foremost, it was actually my second project after I dropped my first one, which was the God EP that I dropped, and then right after it, I dropped Definitive Theosis because somebody said that the God project was too like trappy, and in spite of that, I was like, well, if they want hip hop, I'm gonna give them some hip hop, and it didn't initially even come out that way. I forgot. I think Deflon had reached out to me, and I forgot what song. I don't know if I just dropped a song or something like that. I think he was actually listening to the God EP. I gotta remember, but he said that he was enjoying some of my stuff, and I was already familiar with his work anyway. I seen him in some shows in and around because he was a DJ. He's a DJ as well, so he DJs. He was doing like live drum sets on like mini pads and stuff like that. So. Super dope producer, but I was already familiar with his work, and I was interested in working with him anyway. So I pitched the idea, hey, let's see if we can do a song. He's like, yeah, throw me a beat right then and there. I was like, bet. That was dang, what was that first song? I can't even remember the song that it goes to. I know it's one of the joints on there for sure. But once he threw that one, got to work on it. I don't even remember where I recorded. I recorded that in Rock Hill, at Button Master Studios. But before I even go down there, I started working on that joint. Finished it, recorded it at Button Master Studios, sent it to him. He's like, yo, that's fire. Here's like 4 or 5 more to round it all out. And I was like, I bet. And, went crazy, did my thing. And again, these were beats that they weren't already released, but like tracks that he was working on for other projects, and then saw fit to like throw me. So I started working on that, putting that together. Went together really fast. Like it was really one of those things where it just like the flow was just like undeniable. So I was able to knock that out, record it, release it, and it really was one of those. It's really one of those projects that like every track does have meaning. Every track does have either a story or it does have some type of reflection of myself within it or something like that. But it's like I really cherish that project because it was just an opportunity to work with somebody like Deflon. Mm-hmm. And like I said, Deflon was one of the more prolific producers, DJs out here, and he didn't work with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, there are people that he has, that do music, and they were like, oh man, I couldn't even get a track with him, for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but I always cherish that because just to think that he saw something in me that'd be worth taking his time to even send me some music, and we created something that like I really find endearing because it's I don't want to say it's politically charged, but this was around the time we were having those riots in Charlotte. Yeah. And it was just a lot of that kind of emotion, and then some other feelings in that project. But it really kind of all culminates in that project. So when you ask me, which project I really appreciate being a part of, I definitely feel Definitive Theosis for sure, because it just encapsulates everything that I was feeling at that time, that I want to feel at that time. It still slaps, like it's still dope music to this day. I go back and check it out. The bars are there. It encompasses everything. So it's just a little bit of something for everybody. So that definitely has to be one of my favorite ones for sure.
Love that.
I appreciate that.
I like how like it just didn't do anything special. You just said. When it just flows out of you, like you just can't. I want to go talk about what's going on in my life. Mm-hmm. That's really like shows like okay, that's literally what you just put that's how your music comes about. I like that. But no, I like that. I'm glad you had that experience, man.
I appreciate that, man.
That's cool,
I would love for you to check that project.
I was listening to you talk about it, and I was like, that sounds.
I feel like I feel like you would really appreciate it. It's just cool. I'd like to send you a link to it, just get your thoughts and your feelings on it, because I would like to see what you thought about it, what you think about it.
For sure. Let me send it after the podcast.
Absolutely,
send me that mess. I would like to listen to. I've been wanting to listen to more and more people out here.
I got you. And vice versa. You gotta send me some of your new stuff.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
There's some things I'm working on. I'm not getting too much of it, but it's like just being able to like I've been kind of like a new like wave of like my creation. Like I told you, I've been making my own beats and everything. So it's like the whole instead of like okay, I have something in my head, I find a beat and then put something together. It's like I have something in my head, but then I make the beat, and then I'm also making the lyrics while I'm making the beat, and it's like, okay, I like how this is like coming together, and it's like that. So I have like a few songs that I made like that. So I'm like, oh, I like that whole new flow, the way I'm doing things now.
Yeah.
But like, I got a question. So like, how long you been rapping?
Technically since the 2nd grade.
Oh my.
But it's like the little freestyles at the lunchroom table and stuff like that. But then like, how long have I really been like rapping to like try to like do something, like really make it something? Since like maybe 2015, 2014, definitely around the Phaze Gawd era. You know, I've been doing music beforehand, but it was really kind of just out of the fun, you know, whatever. But at 2015, 2014, that's when again Phaze Gawd was taking charge of things and going crazy out in the city. And I saw kind of the reception that we were getting as a group and the people were getting individually, myself included. And, you know, it really kind of gave me that ignition to be like, oh, okay, well, let me go ahead and start really putting more efforts into it because I'm releasing music that people are listening to and they're asking me about it and they're wanting to look for more. So at that point, because not too long after we had dropped that Phase 1 project, I think a few months later, or at least later that year, I had dropped the God EP, which was my first project. So from then on, it was just like music release, stuff like that. So that's when I really started taking the formation of Phaze Gawd. Yeah.
I asked you that simply because like I was just trying to see like when like what was like the, I guess like from your career here and like now some like big pitfalls that happened to you during that time and everything.
Pitfalls? I mean, I'm not even, I feel like I'm not even popular enough to like have pitfalls. Or like, I feel like, how can I put this? There are definitely situations where I feel like I haven't lived up to my potential as an artist. I think that might be like the biggest thing. It's like, there are definitely situations where it's like I just put a little bit more effort into that situation, I'd be a lot further than what I was. And it's one of the, I don't want to say regret because I like regret is such an ugly word, but there's definitely sometimes I go back like I should have did that. You know, I should have did this, and not even on no like I ruined my life, I'll never be. But it's just like, oh man, if I had just done that and just again put a little effort in, you know, boom, that would have been mine, or this would have happened, or you know, this could have happened. You know, nothing's ever guaranteed, but it's one of those things where it's like, you might as well go ahead and try. And there are some opportunities where it's like, man, you should at least try to do it. So you know, and it's one of those things where, you know, I try not to get too caught up in it because I do stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here doing music, I am performing, event planning, things of that nature, but it's always one of those things where, like, you know, you can go just a little harder, you know, you can just do a little more, just do a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and you'd be so much further, and it's always true. So it's always one of those things where it's like, I like I said, again, it's not really pitfalls for sure, but it's really one of those things where it's like, I know I could definitely do better in those situations. So,
it's been like, yeah. I like that. I like to ask like people who have more success than like the average person, kind of like what, because like no matter who you are, there's like the good and the bad is always going to be relative to everybody.
That's right.
So like something that was not as good for you and your schema and everything, how your life is set up, someone like way smaller, like someone like who just starting out making their music, they're like, oh yeah, that's amazing. And I just want to see like what's the perspective, like maybe some like insight that you could give to like some smaller artists who are trying out here make things happen and they're on the way up, some things they could watch out for and maybe not do like how you've done. And I'll say this, like you said, like it's always going to be something better that you can do to like not to like make them like seem like these things are going to always like like if you don't do this you're going to always fail, because you know you've gotten to where you are right now.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you made a million different mistakes and you're still
for sure. I'm gonna make a million more.
Better.
Yeah.
You have any like any tips or anything?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, you know, it's just one of those things. I feel like a lot of artists will tell you this, but you always want to tap into the community, tap into your friends, your family, the people that are in and around you, whether it be whatever groups that you're in, whether it be the sports, whether it be I mean, I guess you could say whatever religious group that you get, or you know, wherever you're meeting people on a regular basis, whether it be your school or whatever, you know, tap in and don't just tap into like just put music in their faces. Tap in and become a part of that community, because what will happen is people will become interested in you and they'll want to see what you got going on and they'll ask about it. And if you have good, of course you want to make sure you have good product for people to show off for people, but you know, tap in and show people that you're there and you're present. and that means that means showing up at people's shows. That means going to an open mic. That means paying your way in. That means doing your due diligence in whatever scene or community that you're in to show that you're not just there to take. That there are a lot. I think that problem is there are a lot of takers in the music industry. People just want to take. They just want to be seen. They want to be heard. It's about themselves. They just want to. It all kind of just comes back to them. And I mean, sometimes I get it. That's what it's about. It's about your life, and you want to always enjoy your life to the fullest. But when you really put effort into like maximizing the people around you and activating the people around you, like you find so much more. I won't even say like, I don't even want to say success, but just like gratitude and like people that want to see you. They want to see you win. They want to see you do more because they know that they know that you're doing this from not a place of just like, it's me, but it's like it's us. People are involved in you and what you have going on. So, like tap in as an artist. If you got anything that's going on, even if you don't got no music that you can show at an open mic, or if you got a billion songs you play at an open mic, go to the open mic. Stay at the open mic. Don't just leave once you perform. Tap in, shake some hands, introduce yourself. Same thing at these at your local shows. You don't have to open up for the biggest artists anytime they come to your town. You can easily do a whole show with a fellow artist and get the same outcome. I literally just did a sold out show. Shout out my people at the Milestone. Shout out Welcome to the Family Fest. We literally just did a sold out show. They sold out their Welcome to the Family Festival. So day 2 we went crazy, and like I got there, I stayed, I saw all the performers after me. Unfortunately, I didn't get there to see all the acts, but I stayed. Also, shout out Jake, shout out Dylan, welcome to the family. I definitely appreciate y'all for putting me on that. But excuse me, but yeah, I stayed and I watched all the bands. I didn't just leave, go out for a smoke break. Dude, like you stay, you show love, you put folks on your Instagram if they really move you like that. You show some love, and then you tap in when everything's set and done. You go there, you introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Phaze Gawd. You guys killed it. And literally from then on, everything else is just like, it's just a snowball effect of just like awareness and support. Especially if you again have a good product, people are gonna want to say, "Oh, damn, this is dope. I want to see more of it." And I know this person because he came up and talked to me and said, "Hey, boom, relationship." Again, going back to what I said earlier, you're building that rapport, you're building that relationship, and you have to tap in to do that. So, artists, if you're trying to find any kind of way out here, just tap in. And it don't got to be a lot of people, just on a regular basis. Just tap in with somebody in your community and show some love. Yes, sir.
That definitely goes like I ask these questions because I feel like the answers will help no matter what art that you're in. Even if you're not making music, you're making art like sculptures and stuff. It still helps out because this community, especially in Charlotte, the art community is so extensive. And that you're talking about community and stuff. Like that's something like I've had to learn over the years. And like me as a person, like I'm like, dang, what do I want out of this music thing? Like, is it the fame? Is it the money? And I'm like, I want money. It's not like I want like. I don't need to be a millionaire. I just want to be able to live life, you know Absolutely. What I'm saying? And then I'm like, okay, but like, what about the fame thing? I was like, I don't want just fame. I want people to know me, but why do I want people to know me? It's like I want to be a part of something that I can help out. Like I realized, like, oh,
absolutely,
that's why I like to talk to people so much. That's why I hate like being a part of a relationship with someone or a group of people if I'm not able to contribute.
Absolutely.
I know how it feels when you're just taking. So like I definitely feel you on that because like it's kind of like. Thinking about like the law of attraction. I don't know if anybody like really listens or like looks into like how that works and everything. But like whenever you're like looking to like get anything, you gotta have to give some. You can't just take. It's Absolutely. Like it's never gonna work like that. Because people are smart. The universe is smart. People intuitively, even if they can't like verbalize it or like really think of the thought, they know when someone's doing too much and they're taking so much. And I feel like that's a really good one because people can be making all the music they want. But if they aren't giving back and they're just, I'm gonna do my set and leave.
Absolutely. Like who did you meet to like
exactly.
show your stuff to? Because you already left.
It's like a bee pollinating.
There you go. Absolutely, leaving a little something for somebody else. So yeah, absolutely.
But I think we're about to have to wrap it up in a second. I'm gonna ask you about one more question. I'm gonna ask you so much more questions, but you know what? Maybe for next time.
I'm about to say, you gotta come. You gotta do a part 2 then.
For sure. All right. So, being a part of the Charlotte art community, I see that you, like, for one, you're part of Tap In Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
One half of Tap In Tuesday, and if we're not crowning the artists that come through every single day,
Mm-hmm.
like all the different shows, all the music, the different experiences you've had. Like, what is your favorite part of being a part of this community?
Just literally just like talking with people. Like either with like just this right here, just us talking, whether it be about music, what's going on in the community, or just like what you got going on in life. Like I really grown to appreciate, you know, the fellow man in the music scene and the art scene or whatever, because you start recognizing the creative genius behind people just off, you know, the strength of conversation, you know, and a lot of people, I mean, it goes over a lot of people's heads because, you know, they don't know how to ask questions, they don't know how to really dive into, you know, what makes somebody tick, but, you know, I pride myself on just being able to pick up with somebody and just get to going and talking, and it just start learning about somebody and really be into it, because people got a lot of cool stuff going on, and you would never know that because you would never think to just ask them. But, you know, situations like Tap In Tuesday give me amazing opportunities to just meet new people almost on a regular weekly basis, because people ask questions, they want to know what's going on, and I'm able to tell them, hey, we do this, we do that, we also do this, we also do that. I'm also a musician, I've done this, I've done that, I do this, and like, oh, okay, and then they check the Instagram and say, oh, he really is out here doing music and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, and you can be too. Just tap in, show some love. So, and I think that's another thing, is also being able to share knowledge and being able to let people know that there are alternative ways to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Let's figure it out, you know. So yeah, that's really been kind of the highlight. And of course, performing. That's really what I love to do. If I'm not performing, then I'm locking in with somebody. So yeah.
No, I feel you. Like, I feel like these conversations, like, that's why I started the podcast, because I love the conversation that you have with people, because I feel like that's really, like, if we're looking at life in the most, like, woo spiritual, like, oh God, like, that's like the souls of people, the intermingling and like transferring that information, that love, like in whatever part you are in life, like and that can happen anywhere. And I love that, because you can't really like pay for that. If you're going to pay for it, you're always going to have to. If you're ever going to get the real thing, you're going to have to end up paying for it with your actual soul, and not like the money itself. The money is going to do it, can put you in the right position to get it, but like at the end of the day, you have to actually, for one, put the stuff inside of you so that you can give the love to someone else, so they can feel comfortable to give the love back to you, and whatever that is, like speaking or whatever. But like, nah, that's cool. Like, as an artist, you get those opportunities to make these things happen with these shows and everything, and that comes with the hard work that you put in the background, because you had enough love in yourself to be able to, all right, we're about to make something, this product for all these people who are gonna come watch me do this thing, and also in the background, I could do all these things in the background to like talk to other people, just to, you know, be a part of the community. But thank you, Phaze Gawd, for coming through to the studio. We had a really nice first interview, so it was actually really fun.
You gotta do a part 2, man. Come on, man. Listen, I'm not gonna rush it. When it happens, it's gonna happen. But listen, we got plenty more to talk about, man. Because you know, came out, you done some stuff that like we gotta chop it up on. So yeah, man, we gotta lock in. Definitely let me know.
All right, guys. You can follow us. Remember, we're at the Charlotte Tours on Instagram. We're making everything happen. I can't say everything that we're having in the background, but yes, if you want to follow us, we're having all the content there, clips and everything. But yes, catch you guys in the next podcast, guys. Thank you.